History of America, Season 1. Before the skyscrapers, before the Constitution, before even the idea of the United States, there were stories written on the land by the first people, Native Americans. This is where our journey begins. Welcome to Season 1 of History of America, a powerful 30-episode exploration of the events, people, struggles, and triumphs that shaped a nation. From the rich cultures of Native American civilizations to the arrival of European settlers, from the birth of the United States to the flames of revolution, civil war, and global conflict, this season covers it all. We'll uncover how a young country, driven by ideals yet scarred by contradictions, grew through courage, innovation, conflict, and compromise, all the way to its defining role in World War II. This isn't just a list of dates and names, it's a story of people, of ideas, of change. Each episode, we dive deep into the forces that shaped America, episode by episode, chapter by chapter. This is History of America, Season 1, from Native America to World War II. Before there was a United States of America, before the flags, the Founding Fathers, and the Constitution, this land was not empty. It was full of life, of kingdoms, cultures, languages, and nations. This is the untold story of the people who lived here thousands of years before Columbus ever set sail. This is the real beginning of America. The first Americans, arrival and spread. Around 20,000 years ago, during the last ice age, the world was locked in ice and snow. A land bridge, Beringia, emerged between modern-day Siberia and Alaska, and across it came the first humans to enter the Americas. They were nomads, hunter-gatherers, chasing mammoths, bison, and wild game. Over thousands of years, their descendants spread across the entire continent. By 10,000 BCE, humans had reached as far as the tip of South America. Dozens of cultures, hundreds of languages, and the first American nations were born. Great civilizations of pre-Columbian America. These were not tribes in chaos. These were civilizations with laws, engineers, astronomers, warriors, builders. The Mississippian culture in the modern-day Midwest, the Mississippians built cities with pyramidal mounds. Their largest city, Cahokia, near present-day St. Louis, had over 20,000 people, larger than London at the time. They had complex political systems, astronomical observatories, and vast trade networks stretching across the continent. Ancestral Puebloans. In the southwest, the Ancestral Puebloans carved cities into cliffs. Their architecture shows advanced understanding of engineering and solar alignment. Cities like Mesa Verde and Chaco Canyon weren't just homes, they were spiritual centers. Iroquois Confederacy, Haudenosaunee. In the northeast, 5 powerful nations, Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, and Seneca, formed the Iroquois Confederacy. They had a constitution, the Great Law of Peace, which some believe inspired parts of the US Constitution. First foreign contact, Norse explorers. You've heard that Columbus discovered America, but that's not the full story. Around the year 1000 AD, a Norse explorer named Leif Erikson, son of Eric the Red, reached the North American coast. They called it Vinland, most likely what we know today as Newfoundland, Canada. The Norse met native peoples, whom they called Skrælings, but the settlements were short-lived. Conflict, weather, and distance forced them to leave. The age of exploration begins. In 1492, Christopher Columbus set sail for Asia and found the Caribbean. He never set foot in the present-day US, but his voyages opened the floodgates. By the early 1500s, men like Hernando de Soto and Cabeza de Vaca began to push deep into Florida, Texas, and the Mississippi River Valley. Their goals? Gold, glory, and conquest. But their arrival brought more than weapons and flags. Tragedy of first contact, disease, and collapse. The deadliest weapon the Europeans brought was not the sword or the gun. It was disease, smallpox, measles, influenza. Diseases the native peoples had no immunity against. Within a century, up to 90% of some native populations were dead. Cities like Cahokia were abandoned. Oral histories speak of entire nations disappearing. What was lost was more than life. It was memory, culture, language, and wisdom. The land before colonization. Before Jamestown. Before the Pilgrims. This land was not wild. It was civilized in its own way. Over 500 nations lived here, with governments, economies, and spiritual beliefs. They hunted, farmed, traded, debated, and dreamed. Their story is not a prelude to history. It is history. When we speak of American history, we must start before 1776, before 1492. We must begin with the first Americans, the builders, the warriors, the healers, and the dreamers. Their legacy lives on in the rivers, the mountains, and in the spirit of the land. This is where America's story truly begins. If this episode changed how you think about America's origins, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. In the next episode, we'll explore the race between Spain, France, and England to control the New World. Stay with us. This is the History of America, Season 1.